Okay, another day, another dryer startup. We're gonna go, this dryer was having some issues with fill system, timeout, and not this dryer, but another dryer I had earlier this week had some fill system timeout and air switch tripping. And the issue was, if we go into settings here, make sure admin settings are on, load settings, fill switch delays, accept, proceed. Default, there is a 1 second on delay for the fill switches. With the level auger on top of the dryer, if you're feeding the dryer at the speed that, like at 5,000 bushel an hour, you cannot have 1 second in there. It must be 0. That 1 second is enough to jam the switch so it'll continue showing full after the grain level drops. I've had this happen on multiple dryers, so you need to have 0 in the on delay if you have a level auger up top and you're feeding it at 5,000 bushel an hour or a higher fill speed. So now we're going to go through with a level auger. I like, actually, it didn't show there, but here I put these to 8 seconds. There. The other timers, I just let them all default. Fill time auto wet grain, let that all default. We're going to go to fan heat settings because we just updated the software on here also. It was running 4.0. Fan start delay, we're going to make that 15. Fan shutdown delay, we're going to make that 3. Plenum outer range, we want that at 15 and 15. That should be the default setting. Low temp option, I'm going to turn that on. I'm not going to turn on high temp EMOV loop controls. We're going to make that 12, 8, and 2. That works a lot better than factory numbers. Flame out timer, we're going to make 90. Low temp option is on. I'm going to turn this minimum setting to 90. Okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. Now we'll go to unload settings. And this is a screen type dryer, so we want the temperature gain to 80. That's all we set in here. We'll actually unload delay, the off delay. Let's make that 30 seconds. No, that's a long. We have a automation system here, so that'll delay off what we need. So 10 seconds is good. Grain settings, that's all the way it should be. Load fan heat load. Configure user fault text. So we'll put Multica automation fault as the user fault text because of the Multica automation panel it's connected to. There. Look at tools, update tools. You want to disable Windows updates. Now we want to go back into tools, update tools. That's all good. Connectivity tools, update security certificates. Restart required, hit the letters. Okay, we're going to go back into tools. Shut down tools. We set the temperature, plenum outer range, system tools. We got that all good. We're going to go to calibrate sensors, bushel counter, manual, calculate ratio, back, connectivity tools, remote access. I'll turn that on. Proceed. Network repair utility. Not sure if that was ever run on this dryer, so we're going to run that. Initial configuration. I accept. Ready next step. Ready next step. Assign dryer connection static IP. We always got to set up internet, even if we're not connecting internet, because we want to see what the metrics are, to make sure the metrics are set the way they should be. Go to network adapter settings. Now go to adapter 1 and see right there the metrics are red for the dryer connection. So we tap that and it'll fix itself. Okay, now we're going to hook the internet up. Okay, metrics fixed itself. You can go to network adapter 2. This is our internet. We just plugged it in, so we're going to refresh test. There, we got 6 green lights over here. Everything's green or white, so we got good communication. Okay. Tools, I'm just going to do 1 through. Everything's set in there. Everything's set in settings. And now we're ready to fire up and start drying corn. Now, since the dryer is full of corn, I'm going to go into assisted start. Accept, dryer full, proceed, initial dry. We're going to punch in our incoming moisture is 18%. Okay, we're going to go for a 15% outgoing, and initial dry temperature is 160. We're going to plug in 180. We want our fans and heaters. Top fan heater set at 195, bottom one set at 175. Next step, dryer chart speed 34%, proceed. Start initial dry. It's going to heat up for 11 minutes. Okay, dryer's been unloading for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes or so. We only got 12 minutes left on the stabilization, but I'm gonna put it in auto now because, a second here, there. I'm gonna put it in auto now because if we go into the graphs, if we look at moisture, our discharge moisture has pretty much stabilized. It went down, it come back up, it's pretty much stabilized. Our column temperature is pretty much stable. That's fairly flatlining right about 80 degrees. So since everything is somewhat stable, even though the timer doesn't say we're stabilized, everything else shows we are, so I'm gonna go to automatic. So we're showing a 16.4 on the discharge moisture. That is okay, but I want a little drier corn in the bin here just to be on the safe side. And our average column temperature is 81. Those two numbers, so I'm going to say we want this number 5 degrees higher to start out. That way we get this closer to 15. So I think I'm going to start that at like 87 degrees for going to auto. So we're going to hit go to automatic, skip stabilization, go to automatic, go to automatic operation, and we're going to turn on column temp, and we're going to plug in 87 degrees. We're going to hit start automatic. Now that calibrate sensors blinks, so we're just going to go in there and back out again because that blinking lights bother me. So now that unload speed is going to slow down and bring the column temperature up to 87 degrees, which will bring this moisture down closer to 15. So I'll check back in a few minutes. Okay, so we've been running a while on auto since we've changed this to 87 degrees. So if we look at our graphs, column temp is slowly working up, doing a lot of goofing around. Our unload speed has been steadily dropping to bring that column temp up. Our moisture has been slowly working its way down. Not a lot, but it is moving. And we are at a 15.8 on moisture, which is pretty nice. And we're at a temperature of 83 degrees. So that's coming up slowly. This is dropping slowly. We're at 27% unload speed. That's nothing's bad here. This might be a little bit high of a number, but I'm just gonna let it set for another half hour or so and see what happens. What I'm looking for is abnormalities. A wire that's hotter than the others. Like, out of these 4 wires coming out the bottom of the contactors, are 2 of these wires, like, is one of them wires warmer than the rest? That's what I'm looking for. And with looking at the wires coming out the bottom, this one here is showing the warmest. But it's not warm. So, everything in this panel appears to be the way it should be. Now we're going to go up top and check the fan box on top of the fan. This is in the top of the fan box. And if we look, there's 2 wires going into that one terminal. That's the hottest, where the 2 wires are. This is the way you want to check the screws where the hottest wires are, because loose screws make hot wires. Here we have the lower fan. there's not an issue there. I'm gonna do a little walk around. We built this system this summer, and the automation wasn't working as good as what it was supposed to. So I came out today, go through the automation and get things working the way it's supposed to. We got a P203 dryer. We have a wet elevator. We have a Lambton 5700 wet elevator and receiving pit here. We have a 3100 Lambton dry elevator. The dryer dumps into right here, since I'm up here. Here we have our receiving box to receive. In here, we have our air cleaner system, where the grain comes out of the dryer unload, dumps into there, goes down through, and dumps into the elevators. Here we have a complete automation for the system, and this is designed to add 3 more storage bins. The only thing that's here right now is the 1 storage bin, the dryer, the wet bin, and the receiving. It's designed to have 2 storage bins on the other side of the driveway, another storage bin back beside the existing one. This panel's pre-designed for that. We have our touchscreen here to set where we want our grain to go. Right now we have a dryer wet demand in progress. We have Sukup bin 1 dryer unload demand in progress. That's our receiving drag, our speed potentiometer. Looks like everything is running the way it should. Come over here to the grain dryer controls, and that is still slow to get our column temperature up, but our moisture keeps dropping. So I'm going to say my 87 degrees was a little too much. I think that's going to be too much. How long have we been running here? Column temp. Unload speed. Oh, we've been in auto for an hour. So I'm going to say our column temperature is set to high, so we're going to set that to 83. I think that's going to be more accurate. We're going to go in here to our unload settings, reaction gain, and we're going to make that 100, because it doesn't seem to be responding quite like I think it should. So we're going to let it run at that and see what it does.